All right. We've got baby in the background. I think I have to mute myself. I don't know. All right, you guys, this is a mass experiment. Are you ready? Oh, she's getting excited now. It's not nap time. We have to go with the flow here. I can't see certain things. I had to post this on my homepage instead of my group because Facebook is not allowing me to post on my group. So that's kind of odd. So I'll have to repost this for y'all. This actually was intended. Hopefully this is all good, and I hope that I can get your feedback because I'm getting feedback on my end. I hope that I can see your comments as I go. That would be super helpful because I actually don't know if this is working. So I've started a group for you. Of those of you who don't know, since I'm on my public page or my profile page instead of my group page, for those of you who don't know, we have the Best Brain, Best Life Challenge. And the challenge is not set up to be super hard. You know, it's named a challenge because that's typically what you name things on Facebook. That's okay. It's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. So in the group, we're dealing with overwhelm, we're dealing with confusion, difficulty keeping up, anxiety. Those are the things that came up in the questionnaire. And for those of you in the group, I would love, love, love if you did fill out that questionnaire. Hey, boo. Hey, Mom. That's Raven in the background. So you can tell that I am 8 months pregnant. I've got Raven in the background. I've got my practice. I've got all these things, right? But the objective is to manage them with ease. The objective is to have all the things that we've all been affected by this last year, this last couple of years. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on, right? And the objective is to use your brain in the best possible way. So we're going to be looking at both the brain and the mind in this group, but we're going to be doing so in an efficient way, which is why I did a pre-launch video, which is why it's great to know that Facebook won't allow me to post on that group. So I'll figure that out between now and tomorrow at 9 a.m. when I start my actual live videos. But for those of you who don't know, that's what we're going to be working on, and we're going to be working on not only the mind and the securing your space and those effective efficiency hacks, but also we're going to be looking at things like, could you be deficient in a certain nutrient that's making things really hard? Could you be off in your hormones that it makes you crazy? You know what I mean? Like, it makes you not efficient and not emotionally stable and not really on your game when it's coming into these crazy times where you have lots to deal with. You have death and divorce and lockdowns and job losses and economy crashes. All these things, all this information is coming at you, and it's your job to manage that. You want the best brain possible. So, speaking to the group, I actually made the title of this video on Facebook with a spelling error, and I wanted to see how many people caught pre-challenge was spelled with an A instead of an E, because I wanted to draw your attention to that. Did it distract you? Did it distract you from your intention when you joined the group, when you said, you know what, I need some brain hacks. I need my brain to keep up with all this crazy that's going on in my life, and I would really like to be enjoying myself during this time, even though I know it's intense. I would like to be my best hero. I would like to do this. Did she spell that with an A? Did you get distracted? Because distractions are huge in this time, and the brain has so much input coming in. You really need a best filter. Best filter. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that, and I wanted to see how many people actually caught that spelling error in the group. And I will, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with the group, I'll just put the link in this live video. So, did you lose focus and did you get distracted from your intention? Because your intention is what I really want to talk about today. So, the pre launch is to get into the zone and say, okay, I signed up for this group. I'm not really sure what it's about. Dr. Leah is going to talk about, neurotransmitters or nutrients or whatever sciencey thing. And hopefully that helps me because I feel like I'm losing my mind in whatever way, right? Um, that intention, we have to kind of focus and really bring that why that makes you cry, that intention and that expectation of what you're going to get out of the group before we actually go in. Because you're investing time, and time is your only unlimited resource. You can always make more money, more friends, more houses, more cars, more whatever you're lacking in your life, you can make more of, except for time. You can fudge it a little bit, like you can get healthier, right? And you can have a diet that creates more life. You can have, nutrition and hydration and all these types of things to prolong your life, but inevitably we are all going to get to the finish line and your time is valuable. So let's make that 20 minutes a day that we devote to this program. That's your 20 minutes. If you have kids, the 20 minutes that I do during the week, I'm going to go to the office. Why? Because I know that my kids are going to go bonkers in the background and that's going to distract. And I don't want any distractions, right? So I want you to have that as well. I want you to have like a distraction free. So when you're thinking about what do I want out of this group, if I could wave a magic wand, there's a questionnaire when you come in and it says, what are the top three? What are your top three things in your health or in your brain right now that you really wish would change? I wish I wasn't overwhelmed. I wish I didn't yell at my kids. I wish, I didn't have to fear for my job all the time. I wish I didn't have this anxiety. I wish I didn't have this depression. I wish I didn't, whatever it is. I want to turn that around, see the flip side of the coin, because for every black, there's a white. For every opposite, there a reaction, there's the opposite, right? There's the flip side to every coin. So I want to turn anxiety into energy. Anxiety is great. Anxiety is great because that fear and that crazy that you feel is energy. It's just going everywhere, right? And so if we can hone that in and say, what could I do with that energy if I could? So setting your intention for the group is what I want to do today. Um, if you're having a little bit of trouble with that, because you have like, when I say that, you have the reaction of like, yeah, but Dr. Leah, I have 9 kids. I'm racing around. I have way too many things to do. Da, 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 da. And all these things come up in your brain as far as the rejection of that. I want you to step away from your life for a moment. Take a nice, big, deep belly breath, right? Because you can trick your brain with this, and I'll talk about this later. You go into the parasympathetic, your brain is coming back online, and I want you to step out and see where you are in the world. Step out, see the coastline. One. Step out, one. See the planet. Step out, see the universe. Step out, like just step out of your microcosm that is causing this stress. Because if you can step out of it for just a second and say, okay, what if it is possible? What if it is possible that my life is just as complicated, but it's easy? What if I still have to move? I still have to switch jobs. I still have to, write a million books, whatever it is that you have in your brain that you have to do, it's just easier. What if it's just easier? And imagine yourself in this big, huge, expansive universe. Take those nice, big, deep breaths and say, what if? That's what I want you to work from when you're setting your intentions for this group. So we only have 5 days, right? And we're going to plow through it at like 20 minutes a day. We're going to be super effective. I'm going to give you tools and resources and downloads if you want them. But if you don't keep up with that, that's okay. If you only come on Tuesday and you're like, I'm going out of my mind, and then Tuesday you come back and you go, wow, that was super helpful. Maybe I'll go back and listen to Monday. Perfect. Perfect. You're making it happen in your own time. And time expands for what it's what you give it. And we'll talk about time management for sure. Um, I think that time management is also more doable if you have, oh, thank you. I got dinged. Hooray! Um, some feedback. This is good, you guys. Keep it coming um, because yes, I need to know where this is going on in the universe. If it's not going to reach you, it wasn't that effective. So I want you to look for your intention for what your top three are. And in that questionnaire, if you haven't filled out that questionnaire, please do go back and do it because it drives which topics I'm going to be talking about in the 5 days. I could talk about anything. I could talk about the endocannabinoid system and the methyl tetrahydrofolate reductase and how you guys could get really sciencey, right? Most people, I think, are going to shy away from that and say, oh my God, that sounds complicated. Can you just give me a tool? You know, but what tool? Do you want it for depression? Do you want it for anxiety? Do you want it for memory? Do you want it for organization? Do you want it for focus so that you can get through your schoolwork? Because it's impossible. I want to make it possible. So everything is possible, but you got to have the space and the willingness to say that it is. So if you're like, nah, I don't think it's ever going to happen, I want you to step back and say, are you willing to and answer the question, are you willing to be willing to see a better way? If you're not willing to be uh, to see something that is like, you're like, that my life is crazy, you don't understand. Okay, but are you willing to say that maybe there's a possibility that it could be easier? And that is the space I want you to hold with that intention. So I want you to create your intention statement, and I will download or I will upload the document to kind of guide you along that way with your intention statement so that you can write it down. The brain works best when you are physically doing something with your hand. You see it in your handwriting. Your handwriting will change with your mood, with your stress level. I don't know if you've noticed this, but like mine, when I'm stressed out, it'll get real small, real organized. And when I'm in a creative, crazy right brain stuff, I'm gonna be writing like a doctor. so, so do write things down and do have that sacred place that you're going to write it down for the next 5 days. Not a big deal, you guys. I know I've heard some of you say, um, gosh, I just can't do this challenge. I can't show up for it. It's just one more thing. Hold that space that it's going to make the rest of the week and the rest of the month and the rest of the year easier. Okay? Because that's the objective, is to give you those hacks. So I wanted to also draw attention to, I'm going to do basically the videos that I do are going to follow the mind and the brain, right? And those, it's the smushy psychology, the focus, the brain hacks, the what can I do to optimize my time, balanced with, wait a minute, maybe you have a B12 deficiency, a B6 deficiency, maybe you have a, you know, something choline deficiency, or you have heart palpitations, which are related to brain problems because you then don't have that choline, and the acetylcholine is actually a brain precursor as well. All that stuff. I'm going to make it as simple as I can. If you have further questions, please do put them in the comments. I'll put it in like a bonus so that I don't overwhelm you further. The basics, though, are going to be that 20 minutes. So I do want you to go back and do that questionnaire if you haven't done it. I have gotten about 20 questionnaires out of all the people in that group. And so I'm wondering if you can see them. So do let me know if you can find that questionnaire, and if you do it, please put your email in it because I do have a brain assessment. So last thing I want to get to in this live video is that there is a brain assessment based on research, and it kind of tells me where your brain is based on um, a computer game, basically. So you take out 45 minutes out of your day at some point in the week, and I know that's a lot, but that is the full assessment. So if you can sit down before the kids get up or before you go to work or whatever it is and do that 45 minutes, it'll behoove you to do it because you'll see where your brain is on the average with hundreds of thousands of data points with spatial reasoning, memory, cognition, like your reaction times, your all of those things that relate to how well your brain is really functioning. We got to get pretty low on the scale of brain function for people to do something about it in our society. And this test will tell you if you have any of those holes that are starting. It'll say if you're below average or above average. You'll be like, oh, I do that really well. Maybe you can implement that more in your life. Maybe you can optimize using that part of your brain. We can train things with neurofeedback, with nutrition, with all sorts of like tactics and brain hacks um, with each level. But you will at least have a baseline of where you are, and you'll be like, am I really average? Because most people think they're average or above average, right? But that can't be. The law of averages, the law of that is the number. You have to actually uh, have some below average on that bell curve. And so you don't want to be below average in a lot of those ranges. And if you're below average, that tells me, wow, we can optimize that. Oh, it's loading. Um, we can optimize that and make it so that um, uh, you can fire on all cylinders in those areas of your life. So when you optimize those pieces that you don't necessarily know are lagging, everything becomes easier. Even your mood becomes easier. Don't forget that when you have a traumatic brain injury, you tend to get a little bit pissed off. you tend to get uh, you tend to have more mood issues when your brain is irritated. So let's get your brain all fixed up there. We get it all like anti-inflammatory. We get everything just perfect. Then we say, are you really overwhelmed or was it just a brain problem? So go in, join the group if you haven't joined the group. Um, Fill out that questionnaire for me, and then I will be posting for all those people who give me their email in that questionnaire. I'll send you out an invite for the brain assessment, but I have to do it via email because it's this massive thing that you have to then log on to. So please do give me that, and I will give you this $200 test for free, and then you'll see where you are, and so will I. So let me know how that goes. This is Dr. Leah. I'm gonna see if I can log off. I know this is a brain assessment in itself. And if you have any other questions, please post them. It's the only way they're going to get answered. Okay? All right. I will see you on the other side.